Hi, I'm Lena Rao, and welcome to CrunchWeek, where we discuss the week's most interesting and controversial stories. I'm joined by Colleen Taylor and Ryan Lawler. So this is, I think, a pretty big week for tech news. I know I say that every week, but I will say that we have some really, I think, interesting topics to talk about. First off, Groupon CEO and founder Andrew Mason fired from the company. Colleen, you wrote about that. Tell us a little bit about what happened.
I did, yeah. It was in true sort of Andrew Mason fashion from the very beginning. He's been so sort of candid and outspoken and wacky, and this was no exception. I mean, he wrote a really candid memo saying, I decided I wanted to spend more time with my family. Just kidding, I was fired, obviously, because this stock is in the shitter.
Yeah.
And
they had disappointing earnings, I guess,
this past week. Yeah, just a couple days ago. And so, yeah, I was bummed to see it because I had written a story a couple months ago, you know, when all these rumors had come out that Andrew Mason was really on the chopping block with the board of directors. He's really the heart and soul of Groupon in a lot of ways for a lot of the employees there. But, you know, he really couldn't turn it around. Maybe they're thinking they need someone a little more buttoned up, a little more operational experience to maybe try and turn this company around. Seems like the stock market reacted pretty well to it yesterday, at least initially. There was like a huge pop in after hours trading, something like, you know, 15% pop.
That's just got to be tough as like a CEO and a founder of your company. You've like worked so hard to build this, and then to see the markets react that way to you leaving. I mean, it's just, that's tough. I can't imagine. It's a hard position to be in.
Well, I mean, let's not sugarcoat. I mean, Andrew Mason made a ton of money.
That's true.
You know, in the secondary markets and also off the IPO. So it's not like, you know, let's not cry for.
He's not going to be eating any ramen.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But I think, you know, there's a question of his leadership, but there's also the question of, you know, how viable this daily deals business is going forward.
Right.
Living Social had to just raise a bunch of money. They raised an additional $100 million recently.
Just last week, right?
Yeah, just last week. And so there's a question of, you know, is this even sort of a viable market going forward? And I'm not sure that, you know, it is. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, you have to think like back when Google was going to buy Groupon for $6 billion, and now, you know, the company is sort of where it is at a definite low point. You know, there seems to be the feeling, I think, that maybe this model, maybe the daily deals model doesn't work. And Groupon's actually tried to do different things and go into more of a marketplace, Amazon-like model with goods. But, you know, I think there's still more work that has to be done, and maybe that means new leadership. You have to, though, I really have to give credit to Andrew for writing such an awesome memo. I mean, if you're going to go out, you go out like across Twitter and or comments on the posts, and there's just been an overwhelming response to this memo and how, like, if you are going to be fired and leave your company in this fashion, that you write a memo like that.
Yeah, you're honest about it. I think, I mean, that just shows, I mean, Andrew Mason is such a likable guy. That's what kept him in that CEO spot for as long as he did. I think anyone who is less likable would probably have been ousted a long time ago, given how poorly the stock has performed and all these things and the fact that he's so young. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he does next. Because he's never been a tech guy. The whole path of him getting to found Groupon and then Groupon somehow becoming a technology company, you know, obliquely, is a curious path. And so I'm not sure that he's going to, you know.
Well, we know it won't be boring.
It will not be.
It will not be boring.
No, definitely not.
So the next topic I think we should talk about is Yahoo CEO Marissa Mayer's new banning working from home for Yahoo employees. And it only affected maybe a few hundred employees, according to the reports. But it created this like controversy in the blogosphere, the tech world, even beyond mainstream media. Because of what it represented, and especially for a working mom. And I will say, like, on a personal standpoint, I worked from home for TechCrunch for 3 years while we were in Chicago. Now I'm back here. But you know, if Mike and Heather at that time hadn't given me the flexibility to work from home, you know, I would have had to leave TechCrunch, and I certainly wouldn't be sitting in the seat right now. So, you know, I do think that that ability is really important to be able to work from all different places. If you add value to the company, but you know, the Yahoo is a different company, and it's certainly going through a transition. So, what do you guys think?
Well, I think the big question comes down to, you know, the so-called lost remotes, people that were working from home but not really working, and there was no real way for them to sort of figure out who those people were. So, you know, I feel like Marissa is trying so hard just to like change the culture in many ways, but you know, to sort of get the culture to where you want it to be, you have to have a culture of people showing up.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I think that it's a lot about that. It's also, you know, it's kind of a savvy way of, you know, not necessarily laying people off, but cutting the wheat from the chaff.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and basically what she's mandated is that like by June, all these employees have to move to or close to a Yahoo office from where they are. So
yeah, I don't know. I think if it is this clever layoff thing, I don't think it's that clever. I think it's kind of passive aggressive and kind of strange management. I mean, if you had these logs, because there's been kind of this boomerang in perception of this story. When it first came out, everyone was very aghast, at least in Silicon Valley, and kind of against it. And then there was a little bit more information that came out of Yahoo that said, you know, hey, there were a lot of people who were working from home but not even logging into the VPN, like, you know, to work at home at all. I feel like if there were those people, why don't we just fire them? You know, why don't you fire those people? Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. If there was someone like Lena, you know, who was working from home but seriously working, then keep them, get rid of the other people. I think there's so much here that we don't know. You know, about why this was done, but I think that it could actually just be a misstep, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them reverse course on it or tweak it a little bit.
Yeah, and maybe have some sort of exception policy there.
Well, I mean, let's be clear. They're not saying that, you know, if you have a child that's sick or if you're not able to show up for whatever reason that you're going to be fired. I mean, there are sort of exceptions built in. The thing is, what they're saying is that you have to actually make the effort to go into the office most of the time, and, you know, sort of go from there.
Well, and I think, you know, kind of piggybacking on what Ryan was saying, like, it sounds like she's trying to create a new culture at Yahoo, and maybe that's, you know, some of the, as she's like triaging Yahoo and what they did wrong, you know, she feels that there's something wrong with the culture, and maybe bringing everyone sort of together and having this like hardworking, engaged workforce is important. So we'll see if it actually works, though. I mean, that's yet to be determined.
I mean, really what it comes down to is the people who care about Yahoo will show up. Right, they'll make it work, and they will become a part of this office culture. And if at some point down the line they have to reverse it, then that's fine. But like, you know, this is her figuring out like who thinks it's worth it to do that, right?
Yeah.
Well, I want to throw to you on another topic because we have South by Southwest coming up. I will not be there. I am going to abstain this year, but you will be there, Colleen, and I know you're going. You guys have a big plan ahead of you.
Right, so we're going to South by Southwest. Colleen and I will be doing a bunch of video. We'll have video from some of our other writers. So, you know, we're going to have people on the ground. It's going to be great. We're going to do lots of coverage of, you know, panels and stuff and big keynotes and interesting things like that. You know, in sort of looking at it, one of the things that surprised me this year was there's no real sort of killer app.
Right.
Right.
And what was it last year, by the way?
Well, it wasn't,
how that has worked out.
It wasn't, though, and that's sort of the interesting thing is that, you know, we kind of went into 2012 South by Southwest thinking like, okay, this could be the breakout app. And right now there's not really even a highlight sort of type example of a company or an app or a startup that really sort of shines through. You know, in 2000.
So you have a different theory.
Well, I mean, we'll get there. I want to talk about Kim Mai's story, because
that's right.
She had a story about, you know, how there won't be a hot app this year, and sort of the reasons why. You know, in 2007 there was Twitter, in 2009 there was Foursquare, 2011 there was GroupMe, you know, and during all those years, you know, they had sort of these breakout apps, but over time, like, you know, nothing's really happened about that. And so there are lots of reasons. Number one, like, you know, mobile distribution isn't figured out. Those years were kind of special because it was kind of like people just using their smartphones in this place. So, you know, a lot of reasons for that. But one app that I think actually might be a breakout app is SideCar, which is a ride-sharing startup. And the whole idea is that, you know, instead of waiting for a cab, you hail another human, right, to drive you around. So, you know, anyone who's ever been to South by knows it's impossible to get a cab. It's impossible to get around.
Oh yeah, it's just like swarms of people everywhere, and yeah, it's really hard to get around.
So yeah, I mean, one of the cool things about this is that they're going to have a fleet of drivers. They're going to be giving out free rides all over the place. But the Austin City Council wants to shut them down. And so I just wrote a story on Friday about how they're kind of not necessarily going to war, but the Austin City Council has passed a rule that said that drivers' cars can be impounded if they're found to, like, you know, go against taxi rules or whatever. So we'll see what happens with that. Yeah,
well, I'm interested to see like what the showdown is. I mean, if SideCar is being affected, then, you know, you have to wonder what the future is for some of the other ride-sharing businesses that eventually launch in that city as well.
Right. But yeah, I mean, it kind of comes down to, like, city by city, the transportation apps are facing this. Like, Uber faced it in pretty much every city that it's gone into.
So we'll see if SideCar has is the breakout app of South by Southwest. But thank you so much for joining us this week, and tune in next week. Ryan and Colleen will be hosting a special edition of CrunchWeek from Austin. So,
Texas.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.